How's it going, everyone?
I love that intro, dude. I'm just, I love that.
I love that shit, man. I'm glad we used that. Welcome to the show, everyone. This is Two Guys, One Crypt. I'm Chuck Nasty, and that's JB. And it's a fun show planned for tonight. Going back a little nostalgic for me, talking about a film that completely, like, honestly fucked me up when I saw it when I was a kid. 1990s, The Sorority Girls and The Creature from Hell.
Oh god, we're gonna have a chat about that.
Rewatching it the other night. This is gonna be fun. And
a change in your thought process, I guess.
A little bit, but we'll get into that. We'll get into it. There's a little bit of half and half with it, but I see it as an adorable classic.
Right, yeah. Definitely, man. I guess before we get started, though, we do have a couple of guests on this episode, don't we, Chuck?
That we do.
So why don't we go ahead and introduce both of them real quick. I'm going to go ahead and bring Jen up first. Hey, Jen, how are you doing?
I'm great. How are you guys doing?
We are doing great. Thank you very much for coming on. I'm very excited to have you.
I know. Most people are. No, I'm just
You're not wrong. That's for sure. And Chuck, let's go ahead and why don't you introduce your buddy real quick?
My buddy Brad from the band Cavalcade. Great dude, horror fan like all of us. He's been on my podcast, Nasty Nation, a couple of times. What's going on, Brad?
Hello, everyone from Michigan.
Hey, Brad, man. It's nice to meet you finally.
Very nice to meet you guys.
Awesome. So I guess to get started, we really only have a short amount of time with Jen, and there's something that we kind of wanted to chat about a little bit, right, Jen? Because you have something pretty special going on, don't you?
I do. I actually have two things going on. I know we were only going to discuss one, but I can discuss
no,
two.
Feel free to discuss two.
So currently I am fundraising for my season 4 of my horror host character, Malvolia, the Queen of Screams. Basically, we made some customized t-shirts because for 3 seasons now, so many people have been asking for them. So now you can purchase one and follow this link right here. And half of the proceeds go to season 4 and you get a t-shirt.
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty excited to say that I got one coming. So
yeah,
everybody needs to go there, check it out, and check out her show too. There's links to everything on her Facebook, and actually, for those who are interested and don't have time to like go to everything right now, here's a little teaser. This right here is the actual front of the shirt that is actually made, so you can actually get a really good look at it right now.
That's killer.
It really is.
I like that.
Your chest. Yes. I can nestle right there.
It has something on the back too.
Yes, it says victim on the back. All of my audience members are my victims. And so, you can proudly display that you are one of my victims when you buy one of those shirts.
I like that. That's
pretty cool. For anybody who actually watches her series over on YouTube. Yeah, it's actually what you use that with your signing out and everything, and
my audience
like your
are my
little
victims.
Tagline.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I love it. It's really, really cool.
Yeah.
And thank you again so much for coming on here. Like I said, I know you only have such a small amount of time. Was there any other projects though that you said you had?
Well, I also wanted to throw out there that I am looking for private investigators. No, we're not doing investigators. Investors. Private investors for season 4 in exchange for producer credit. So if that is something that you're interested in, I have 3 different tiers. You can private message me and I can give you all the details. So we also have that option as well. If you don't want a t-shirt, you don't want me on your chest, we can do that as well.
Well, first off, they'd have to be pretty fucking ridiculous not to put you on their chest.
Right? I think so too. I mean, come on.
It's a pretty killer shirt.
It really is. And for those who don't know, like I'm actually, could be 100% honest, I'm a pretty recent fan of the show. It's something that I just kind of found recently. And within less than just a couple of days, I'm already in season 3. I literally only have a couple of episodes left.
Damn.
So, like, this isn't something where it's like, Oh, it's great. Like, I don't know, when I get into something, I really get into it, and I can tell you honestly, I've sat down for hours at the TV just going episode through episode through episode, and it's great for anybody who likes that whole horror host kind of vibe to their shows, and it's just an amazing format, and it's something that's like right up my alley. I fucking truly love it.
Thank you. I try to do something unique with it because I am an actress at heart. The horror hosting route was never the route that I wanted to take. I just kind of fell into it. So I do host horror short films because everybody's attention span seems to be like non-existent on YouTube. So you get a quickie horror movie with an intro, outro, and then you also get little skits that we perform as well. And I have my crew, my clan, a lot of reoccurring faces pop up here and there, and we just have a really good time with it and like to kill a lot of people and like a lot of bloodshed, and I drink human blood, and yeah, it's a good time.
Yay!
It definitely is. There's a reason I like it so much. In fact, I actually chatted with you because I couldn't figure out the name, and I feel bad because I forgot it again. But there was one horror short that I watched that was just like it was incredible to first off see this on like an indie production of a horror host show, but to see something of that caliber was just like, whoa, like, because that was like, do you remember the name of the one I'm talking about?
Was it Passing the Stone? Was it the
I
baby
watched
one?
that was a good one too. No,
that was a good one. I watched it earlier.
That was that was the first one, but no, the one with the tree monster girl.
I forget the title, but the filmmaker is Craig Fisher. He is a filmmaker over in the UK, and he is so dang talented. I was lucky enough to have 2 of his other short films in season 3. I did host one of his other films, I think season 2, around Halloween time, but what was that site? There was another site that picked it up, and so I kind of got booted from it because they snagged it, and they were showcasing it. But all the power to him. He deserves all the success because I love his stories. I love his production quality. I mean, it's just interesting stuff that he does. Yeah,
it looked fucking amazing. Like just seeing like that looked like it was actually done in like a Hollywood studio. It looked amazing.
Yeah, no, I don't think they even did it in a studio, but that's like my guess. I could pass you his information. He'd be a good interview.
Oh, you definitely do. Yeah. That'd be a
Definitely.
lot of fun. Like that was like, I'm not somebody who's like easily creeped out or anything, but that was a pretty fucking creepy short, and it was like a 2.5, 3 minute short.
It was
a
quick.
real one, but
Yeah,
it fucking impactful. That's for sure.
I honestly just now heard of your show a couple of days ago when JB said that you were going to be on, and I hadn't really had a chance. It's been crazier in my life lately, so I hadn't had a chance to check it out. And so I checked it out a little bit earlier, like little clips and just little parts of it. And man, I really dig it. It's really cool. And the Passing the Stone, man, kind of hurt me because I have bad kidney stone issues, and I've been passing one that I thought was going to rip me open. And you know what? I watched that, and it didn't help, which is why I liked it, because I want to feel that kind of pain when I watch something.
That filmmaker is Richard Trejo, and he actually directed, and we won a lot of awards on season 2 of the Halloween special, and he's coming back to direct season 4 Halloween special this year. So nice. I'm very excited to have him back. The way he sets up scenes, his lighting is so beautiful. I'm in it. I'm excited to get started. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's really, really cool. I don't mean to be too spoilery, but like I do want to chat about that short for just a second. At least one little tiny scene in it for the Passing the Stone one.
Oh yeah.
So after he passes the stone, and I'm gonna say it like that because, well, no, because my question's gonna give it away. Fuck.
Okay. Spoiler alert. Close your ears if you want to know or not know.
Yes. Go ahead. Close your ears if you don't want to know what happens. Or this might be the most intriguing thing ever. You guys are just gonna head over there right now. Hopefully,
Brad, you need to check this out. You'll like.
He's gonna get on his phone right now and watch it.
Right.
So already.
I'll be pretty vague. So somebody has a child in this clip.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, why does this somebody look like he might have been breastfeeding? If you notice, partially when it gets to the second part of it, he has his shirt unbuttoned at the top.
I think maybe he does. I think he does.
I
Yeah,
don't-
they
like,
went there. They went.
They
Dear-
didn't show that part of it though. Like it was like implied male breastfeeding, and it's really fucking weird. But it was just one of the weird things that I noticed. I was like, I don't know if they even realized his shirt was unbuttoned, but it was pretty funny.
It's two filmmakers. So if you guys watched the first episode of Drunken Zombies, they're the production company, Safety Meeting Productions, and so they did Drunken Zombies, and then they moved on to Passing. I think Passing the Stone was the second one they did. So they do wild, crazy, out there dude material that I super embrace. I love them. I think they're both super talented. So when they were like, "Yeah, you can have our shorts to showcase," I'm like, "Done. Let's do it." A lot of people will be talking about them. So,
For sure.
I'm a fan of really fucked up shit. Like I'm a Clive Barker and trauma film fan. So, anything that involves body horror or just a fucked up storyline, I'm usually hooked.
Yeah,
like it does it for me.
Well,
there's quite a bit of body horror too. A lot of faces. I really like everything that I see. It's like the perfect mix of everything I want. Plus, a lot of the clips are things that you really can't see on, like if you are watching something like Svengoolie. So it's like it's a little bit more edgy. So it's interesting all around. It's a really, really cool idea. I honestly hope that you get funding and everything past season 4. I don't really want to see this end. So,
I know. I wasn't even going to do season 4. We kind of talked about that privately. Yeah, I wasn't even going to move on to season 4, but like with quarantine.
Made me feel bad. We could have talked about that privately.
No, I mean, it's out there. I mean, I've been really open, like with a lot of interviews. People are like, "Oh, what's going on next?" And I'm like, I don't know if I'm moving on to season 4. Well, quarantine and COVID kind of pushed me into season 4 because projects have been just few and far between, and it's a lot of like filming on my own with a lot of projects, and so I just had that creative itch again, and I love Malvolia. She is a part of me. I hate to tell y'all, but she is a part of me, and she is that dark side, and that's how I get out like frustration and aggression and a lot of like things that piss me off. So and 2020 has been the year to to cause all those things. So I have a lot to say this season, and I am very, very, very excited to get it out there and to showcase it. So I mean, you never know if there will be a season 5. I'll say never say no, but you never know. Maybe we might be able to move on to bigger places.
I'm gonna run a marathon.
I still don't want to see it end. So.
Oh no!
It looks like we lost her for a second.
I'm back.
She's back.
There she is.
I was like, I thought it was going good. Where'd she go?
I was like, peace out, guys. Dramatic exit, No, I still do like a lot of hosting stuff. I did 1031 and 1031 part 2. So I'm always open to do, horror anthologies if anybody's out there looking for a horror host. So like, she'll always be around even if I don't do my own series, but I'm that type of person that needs to be in control and needs to tell the stories that I want to tell. So I'm sure that it'll just keep continuing on no matter what.
So just so you know, you have some fans out here like
oh hey Mike, thank you.
That's actually a personal friend of mine, so it's kind of funny. So
let's be friends, Mike.
yeah his last name is Asscam. It's kind of funny.
Wow, we'll just add that to
he gets to be the butt of some jokes too.
I was gonna say he's never been teased about that name.
No, I'm sure never.
He's actually a pretty awesome dude. He actually just had his first kid recently, and
congrats.
He's turning out to be quite the amazing dad.
That's congratulations on that one.
Yeah, definitely.
Watch out for the horror.
So I guess, Jen, before we go ahead and let you go, I guess I'll give everybody else a chance real quick to see if they want to ask you anything too. Chuck, Brad, do you have anything that you might want to ask a horror host?
Well,
I guess it's down now.
Oh yeah.
It's like the Brady Bunch of horror right here. Actually, I am kind of curious, and I hope this. I was debating on if I was going to ask this or not, but
just ask.
watching it, I also I was like, man, that's really cool because you go with the classic, horror host, like we talked about a minute ago.
Yeah.
And you're a little more like kind of a dominatrix when you talk. And I'm like, did you mean to do that, or that just be from just like getting into the character of like something dark and brooding?
Yeah, no, nobody's ever said that to me, so thank you. I appreciate that. That's commanding and demanding, absolutely. I guess it was just part of the character that I wanted to portray. I mean, I won't go too into it, but like throughout my whole career, I've always been told I can't do certain things. And when people tell me that I can't do certain things, I kind of want to show them that I can, so that I can have the opportunity to do stuff. So, when I did a lot of comedy, people are like, you couldn't do drama. So I did some drama short films, and then it turned into, oh, well, you can't do this. You can't do horror. You can only play the victim. You can't play the killer. So Malvolio was that character I created to show that I can be the killer. I can be evil. I can be mean. I don't have to play the nice girl and be the girl next door all the time. Like, I can do evil. And she's actually really fun to play. Like I said, gets out a lot of aggression and stuff like that. So I appreciate that comment. I mean, it's definitely, what I'm trying to portray as far as demanding and commanding and just evil and just mean and powerful,
Well, it's I have to my hat's off to you on that too, because I know that like it's not easy. Like, horror has gotten a little bit back and forth lately, the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And to be a horror host in the spectrum in which you're doing it, like you said, someone said you can't do this, someone said you can't do this, and you fucking did it.
Yeah.
Man, hats off to you. That's fucking badass. Keep doing it. Keep going until it's in.
It's very impressive.
Fuck the naysayers. Kill them all.
Thank you. Yeah. Oh, believe me, there's a lot of secret deaths of real people in this series. So
all right.
I'm excited to see it.
Artistically killed them,
I was curious. Have you done Melville like at a horror convention, like in like person, like?
I did. I walked around Son of Monsterpalooza when I was kind of like sponsored by one of the writers of iHorror. And that was definitely interesting because, people just thought that I was kind of dressing up as in a horror cosplay character I was creating. They didn't realize that I was a horror hostess. So when I was being introduced by Ryan to like a lot of people that were walking around, they'd be like, "Oh, that's cool." I had a lot of people, looking at me and stuff like that, but nobody would really approach me or anything like that. I mean, the dress is definitely eye-catching, yes, and that was a lucky find on Amazon. So I'm very thankful for that dress because when I was at Son of Monsterpalooza like a couple years ago, John Kassir actually came over to me and was like, "Where'd you get that dress?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, it's John Kassir!" Like, I grew up watching Tales from the Crypt. Like, that was just so badass. So I was like, "Oh, well, and I try to look cool, and I was kind of drunk a little bit at the time. So I was like, Amazon.com, hey. But that was a cool experience. And then I was sponsored at Midsummer Scream by the Boneyard because I had hosted their web series, their first episode of their web series. And so they gave me a little table and there was a TV and it was showing our web series episode. And I was just replaying and I was there and my friend was pimping me out. So it was a cool experience. Conventions kind of give me a little bit of anxiety. They kind of stress me out a lot. Not a little, they stress me out a lot. So I would definitely do it again, but I think it would be something where if I was sponsored, I'd kind of want to be at like a table type thing instead of just kind of put out in the middle of a room. Don't get me wrong, I'm very thankful for what I had and I would definitely do it again. But if I had my preference, I would definitely kind of want to be a little bit of a way and behind a table type thing than out and open, because those things are stressful. I don't know. I don't care what anybody says. There's always so many people and just everything.
Well, if you ever get a chance, whenever they start having the conventions and stuff again, you should look into coming to Kentucky for Scarefest when it comes around.
I'd be down.
People would dig you there. People would
Yeah.
dig you there.
Yeah,
need to-
same
My
in
mom
my
works there every
area
year.
over at Horror Hound.
I need to
Yeah.
find a sugar daddy to sponsor me for that. So if any sugar daddies out there want to sponsor me for that, I'm down. Or
Sugar
somebody
daddy.
needs to pick up my season so I can make some money so I can go to these places. But I would love to. I'll definitely put that on the list. Put it out
Right.
there.
That's
Make
awesome.
it happen.
If we find any sugar daddies, we'll send them your way.
Yeah, please. Now accepting
Chuck is
applications.
actually always on the look, so it might be a lot easier than you think.
Thanks, Chuck. Appreciate it.
So, Jen, before we let you go, I do have two really quick questions, if you don't
Sure.
mind.
Yeah.
All right. First off, they're both related to your last answer. So, how many dresses do you have? Because I noticed that you've gotten a lot of blood on this dress if there's only one.
So, first season and part of season 2 was always the same dress. But I technically have 4.
Well, I noticed that there's other ones, but I meant like the iconic one.
Oh, the iconic one. I have 4 of them. And that was like during the middle of season 2, one of them, like the back started to rip. So I got some extra ones just in case. And then I started to get creative. Like if for Christmas this past year, I bought a white one and tried to dye it red. I tried to dye it blood red, but it's so cheap. Like the dress is so cheap that it easily rips and all that stuff. So the white one kind of turned out pink, but I wore that for Christmas.
All right.
And then for the Halloween special in season 2, I wore something different. This Halloween special, I'll be wearing something different. Season 1 for the Halloween special, I wore something different. So, but yeah, I have 4 of those dresses.
Wow, that's very
That
interesting.
was probably a long answer for you. I'm sorry. I went
No,
into it.
It's okay. It's the same. It's the same answer Jack gave us when we asked him the same thing.
Yes.
Really, he's got 4 of the dresses.
Yes, that was gold. Ooh.
It really is. So the other part is I've actually I've talked to John Kassir a few times, and he's actually been on my other show. And knowing now that you're actually a really big fan of Tales from the Crypt too, I would love to actually have you on that show as well sometime. That would be pretty fun.
I'm super
So
down.
We're definitely gonna have to keep in touch for maybe some more appearances soon.
Yeah. Don't get sick of this face. I'll come back.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm sure that my buddy Mike is gonna really enjoy that.
Yeah. Mike, hey.
Well, just ask him.
Mike, you want me to come back?
I'm sure
He might
he'll
not
say yes.
say yes.
All right. So I guess I'm sorry for taking up so much of your time. Thank you again so much though for coming on. I'm really happy.
Yeah,
man,
no,
you're
thank you
awesome. Thanks for coming
having me.
on.
Yeah, this was a blast. Can I just do one more shout out? Irrational Fear, where I don't play Malvolia, I play an actual character. Irrational Fear is out on Tubi, Amazon Prime, Kings of Horror, and there's another one that I can't remember right now. But it's making quite a splash. We shot it 3 years ago, and it went into like personal, individual distribution, and now Terror Films has it. So we're coming back with a vengeance with it being out there. So if you want to see some of my other acting, definitely a lot different than the Queen, check out Irrational Fear on all of those sites.
That's awesome. And actually, you have another fan that just popped in. I'm not sure if I could put this Facebook comment actually on the screen just because it is. He wrote a small paragraph.
Oh,
I was like, wait, what did he say?
Yeah, Anthony Davis. You know who it is?
Yeah, I know who it is. Yeah, Anthony's been with me a long time.
Well, I will go ahead and I'll put it on there. I got a feeling the lettering might be a tad small or take up the whole screen, I guess.
Yeah.
So he says that Jen Nangle is my hero, and she knows this. And she knows she changed my life many years ago. 5 years ago, I interviewed her on my YouTube channel, and after the interview, we hung out and just talked. She gave me the best unsolicited advice anyone could ever tell me. She told me, acknowledge my fears and embrace them, then start dealing with them. In the past 5 years, I took that advice to my heart, and my life has changed so much. Man, you really had an impact on me. I've taken control of my health, my constant fear of rejection, and even sta.
Whatever sta is. I'm sure it's really.
I don't know. I really hope that
That's really cool, though, man.
Yeah,
don't know how
thank
those
you,
go,
Anthony.
but yeah. Yeah, that's pretty impressive. You actually do have quite the following, and you change lives. Obviously, that's
I
really
may not
cool.
have a lot of numbers, but I definitely have dedicated people, and I'm very, very thankful for them because a lot of them met me when I did this web series called Guides like years ago, and I still have a bunch of people that are still with me. And sometimes I'm just like, why are y'all still here? I don't think that I'm cool, but it's just nice. It's nice to have those friendly faces that always pop up in the comments and, are always there to support and share. And it's definitely very heartwarming. Yeah.
Right. Well, hopefully you realize one of these days that you're wrong and that you have all these supportive people out there.
Yeah. I was gonna say, we think you're cool. Like, you seem pretty cool to me, man.
Right.
No,
If I didn't think you were cool, I'd tell you. So
he did that to the last guest.
I appreciate the honesty. So now I know it's real. Yeah.
hey, man,
I made that up. He didn't really say that to nobody.
Oh, he didn't?
No.
you could just kept it going. It would have been fine.
Yeah, I was into it.
We say that. We say that till I start getting messages. Wait, Chuck doesn't like me. It's like, no, I was just fucking with him. So I guess thank you again so much for coming on. It was a pleasure. And everybody, go ahead, check her out over at facebook.com/Queen Melvolia, and check out her fundraising thing that's going on right now over at customink.com/fundraising/official Melvolia t-shirt.
Yeah.
Yes. I can't wait to get mine, and I will be showing it off when I do. So
Yeah.
Thank you again so much. Is there anything you want to say before I go ahead and drop you out?
Nope, that's it. Just support. And thank you so much for having me. This was a great time.
Thank you again, and I'll talk to you later after I get done.
Sounds
Yeah,
good.
good night.
Enjoy your
Bye.
movie.
Oh, we won't. So, guys.
She's cool, man. I like her. She's awesome. I like her.
Oh yeah, dude, that was a blast. I'm
Yeah.
really, really excited and happy I was able to have her on. Like, realistically, like the whole idea of the whole horror host concept and everything is something that's been very close to me my entire life. And Chuck, I know you being a horror fan, that you had to feel pretty similar on it too. So like,
oh, definitely, yeah.
For people like us, it's like a dream come true kind of thing. It's like wow, I know a horror host, and
Right.
she wants to talk to us. It's not like us bugging people, but it's really, really cool, and it's awesome. I'm definitely gonna have to try to get her on again. Hopefully we didn't scare her off. I know that Chuck can be kind of an asshole.
Hey, I think it was fun. Thank you very much. I think I was a perfect gentleman.
You were kind of, but we went ahead. We talked with Jen, or the Queen of Scream, Malvolia, if you will. But so, why don't we go ahead, Brad? You have a few things going on too, don't you, man?
Working on a new Cavalcade album. That's the main thing. We with not being able to do gigs and all of our out-of-state shows getting canceled, and very understandably with the current situation. We kind of looked at each other, and everyone was writing. We already had a bunch of stuff written, and we kind of like, well, what are we going to do? We released the Quarantine EP back in the spring to get some stuff out, and just had 2 new originals plus an old live cover of us doing In Excess. And so we ended up kind of looking at each other. We recorded a bunch of we already had a bunch of stuff like recorded for covers. So the plan is to do a covers EP that we will release completely free called Cavalcade Covers Our Asses. So just I like
that title.
Yeah. It's going to have Ramones, Cure, a few more surprises.
All right. Okay. All right.
Wait a second. Me and JB had this talk last night because we were talking about The Cure. And I was telling him about like how when me and you played together, I was completely blown away by your all's cover of Lullaby from The Cure, which is one of my favorite Cure songs. And this guy over here is a huge Cure fan. Go on, JB.
Yes, I absolutely love The Cure. I'm not even gonna fucking lie about it, man.
You don't need to. We worship them. Like,
yeah,
I've seen them twice, so yeah.
Have you seen them live?
I've seen them in 2000 on the Blood Flowers tour, and then I saw them on 2004 on the Curiosa when they did like their.
I was there too. We lived so close together at DTE. We were both there together. And Mute was there. Mogwai Thursday, Aftermauer.
Yeah, that Aftermauer set was so good.
Oh my god! Because I think that was her first tour after she went solo after the Smashing Pumpkins. Yeah, yeah. I was there too. That's funny. I actually got the T-shirt and everything, dude. I went to that, dude. That dude drinks a lot on stage, doesn't he? Do you see how many bottles of wine that guy went through? Like, do you also know how rare it is for two people who've seen The Cure live to be on screen together?
True.
Yeah.
That's actually really fucking cool, man. That was an amazing show. Now, I don't know if you remember.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry. No, you go ahead.
No, you.
No,
okay.
You're all so excited right now.
No, wait. Well, dude, you don't even understand, dude. I've
never seen him. Yeah, I know. I don't know.
No, well, it's not just that. On the other hand of it, that was one of the first shows that Muse, or I guess one of the last shows that Muse played before they were really famous.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's when, like, you know, you're talking about a time when Muse tickets went from $10 to $200 within like 2 months of that fucking appearance.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they went fucking humongous, and we got to all, like, I don't know if you were over by the fence, but everybody was playing, like, kicking soccer balls around with them. Like, they're fucking legit, really cool dudes. That was a really cool show. Man, that was fucking blast, dude. Go ahead though.
Well, that show it was awesome, and it was also like, it was one of those, I love those days in the summer where it cools off and it almost feels like fall. And I remember, like, my girlfriend at the time had to have a leather jacket. My one friend had brought a blanket and covered. It was like, I want to say July or August, and it dipped down into like the high 40s that night. It was just one of those awesome cold nights, and it was awesome to see him do that. Like, the only other time I saw him before that was the Blood Flowers tour, and they played like 3.5 hours that night. It was only them, and it was just insane, like just nuts.
Well, the Curiosa Festival, didn't they did almost 2, didn't they?
I think they almost did 2. Yeah,
they went past their running time. I remember that.
Yeah,
that 2 hours for a main event. These days, if you get 45 minutes, you're happy. So, like, it was well worth those expensive fucking tickets, huh?
Yeah, you know, definitely. I mean, they and on top too, like, you know, as long as you were into the whole package too, and then you get the headliner for like 2 hours. Like, I went to so many Ozfests in Sabbath or Ozzy. It's like hour 20, hour and a half, and they're out. And which I get, you know, you don't want to go. I know about the fines if you go past, you know, everything with paying the overtime, and totally get it. Yeah, the Cure just kept going that night too, and we were just like,
they did not give a fuck.
They did not. And like, there's the light show's so good. The songs were amazing. Simon Gallup always reminds me of Nikki Sixx because he just kind of runs around with the Thunderbird. And like,
correct me if I was wrong, but that was also their first American tour with all the original people too.
I'm not 100% sure on that. You could be right on
everybody
that.
I think the one dude died, but it was like everybody who was still alive from back when. I believe that was the first time that they all came back together again. Obviously, with some of the other people that were in the band, but the main ones were there, like that originally. You know, even though Robert Smith originally kind of created it all by himself, and like I'm sure you've had to have went through rare sides and the rarities and B-sides and heard some of the really weird stuff that it sounds like it was done on like a Casio keyboard.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah.
You can hear like Fire in Cairo, but the beat's like really fucking weird.
Matt, intervene just real quick. I'm just gonna throw this out here. This has nothing to do with this at all. Give me 2 seconds. You all keep talking about the Cure because you all are obviously having like a whole thing right now, and that's awesome. I have to go be a parent and yell at my children because I'm hearing the thumps. So I'll be right back. Okay.
You give me a thumbs up when you're good, buddy. Oh man, dude. I'm sorry for everybody who does not like the Cure, but the chances of a guest being on an episode and then we finding out that we were actually at the same show and then it was that show, like, that's fucking slim to none. Like, it really is. Man, dude.
that was such a good show. And like, yeah, with the Cure, like with Cavalcade, when me and Kale, the other guitarist, met, like that was our thing. Was just like, because I would watch MTV2. Obviously, you'd hear the hits of the Cure, and then MTV2 when I was in high school would just play a bunch of Cure videos in a row. I'm like, I love all of this, and I bought "Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me," and I was 17 and blown away. And me and him met, and he'd been into the Cure super since he was like 12, and we just like, oh, you're into Cure, you're into Black Sabbath, like, like, like super nerds for both, and we just like merged, and oh, you like punk rock too, and you know, because ever all the metalheads I was friends with, I'd bring up the Cure. At that time, it was no way cool for metalheads to be into the Cure too, you know, and like it, and I was like, I don't give a shit if I like it, man, and you know, and then like indie guys I hung out with were like, you're into metal, like you like Morbid Angel and Pantera, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, so with meeting Kale, and that's basically the base of Cavalcade, is being into both of those kind of things.
That's actually really interesting, man. Like, I kind of understand the feeling too of kind of feeling a little bit weird liking that band specifically. Like, I was a fan of them like elementary school. Like, yeah. I'm in my early 30s, so like I was introduced by my dad, obviously, but I definitely started off with Boys Don't Cry. like I mean, we're going like back, and like I cassettes. I had my little Sony Walkman thing, the little yellow one that clipped when it was shut. You know, it's supposed to be shockproof. You know what I'm talking about? Like, yeah, dude, I jammed the shit out of them, dude. It was fucking amazing. And like, it was just something I grew up on. I've absolutely loved them forever. It's even hard for me to even pick out a favorite song, man. Like, to be honest with you, like I'm that big of a fan. Like the song will change every time you ask. Hey, Chuck, welcome back, buddy.
What's up, man? Sorry about that. You know how it goes. Got kids. I'm hearing thumping around. Gave them ice cream. They're good to go.
Hey, I keep a tub of ice cream in the freezer for the same thing.
It's cookies and cream tonight.
Hey, thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you.
That's a really, really nice thing to say, man. And hopefully, if you keep tuning in, you think the same thing when we get to the meat of the show, which I guess I should probably go ahead and we should probably talk about a little bit, Chuck. So
yeah, definitely.
So
real quick. Before we get into this, I want to actually throw out there. I was going to wear my Cavalcade shirt, but it's dirty at the moment. But I gotta say, when it comes down to Brad's band, we in my band, we've played with so many great fucking people, so many awesome musicians. So nothing, 8 Vermin being one. Cavalcade was by far one of my favorite experiences playing with another band.
Oh God, dude.
Yeah, no, because one, I met this guy. I met Brad, and we hit it off on the horror spectrum. He's met Whitman. All right. My co-host on Graveyard Talk. He was the hefty guy with the beard that you talked to. He asked about one of your tattoos. But you all are not your typical metal band, and I appreciate that. Like, you all, like, seriously, if you haven't heard Cavalcade, check them out. Oh shit!
Yeah, definitely do.
Sonic Euthanasia. Sonic Euthanasia is an amazing album. And
thanks, brother.
They bring the black metal, they bring the sludge, they bring the doom, they bring the punk, they bring it all. So check them out, definitely. So I had to say that because Brad, even though we've only seen each other, been around each other one time, we've talked multiple times online and whatnot. I consider you a good friend of mine, and I hope we can share the stage again before too long.
That's
dude, we were stoked to get back down there. Like, the plan was like, okay, late summer, after the first run, we were already thinking we love Louisville. Everyone we met there is always amazing. Loved playing with you guys. Like, that night just sticks out big time for that entire, for all of that year. Loved playing with you guys. You're a killer. In the year just 2020 happened. Like,
shit.
It's like everything.
We'll have to do the After the Virus tour next year.
Yeah. Dude, we totally
wait. Cavalcade cavalcade us and Mammoth Lord. Let's get that set up next year, okay?
That's what I was just gonna say. It was just
let's do that. Let's fucking do that. Okay. That's okay. Enough of that. Anyway, Justin, you were saying.
Well, before we go ahead and get started, since you brought up everything, go ahead, look at that banner real quick. Check out Cavalcade over at facebook.com/Cavalcade Michigan or MI. Or you go ahead and check out their Bandcamp at cavalcade.bandcamp.com. Check out some of the stuff they have on there. Maybe purchase an album. It's always nice to help these independent artists out, especially nowadays. It's hard being a musician when you can't tour.
Truth.
Yeah, so, sitting on a lot of inventory.
Right, yeah, no shit.
So, I can't imagine for bands that, like, we all got day jobs. We do it as, because we love it. The guys like Crowbar that make their living at it, I can't imagine what it's like for them. Like that the whole year, that's how they feed their families.
Well, Crowbar was supposed to go on tour with Sepultura and Sacred Reich, and they had got all this merch and all this shit together, and then COVID happened, and all their tour was fucking shut down. So yeah, like it's shitty how things are going right now, man. Definitely.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And in independent venues, I mean, all those, like everyone says, they're going to be the last ones to open. Like Michigan, where there's very active with the Save the Stages Act. I've written our representatives and senators, donated to some of them that definitely need the help. Anything you can do for them, because I mean, you guys have stuff going in Kentucky, from what I understand. Like there's venues are doing some stuff, right?
Yeah. There's a lot going on here in Kentucky.
Yeah, we are shut. Venues are completely shut down. Restaurants can be at 50% capacity as long as they don't make 70% or more of their total receipts in alcohol. So, venues are just, and I get it. Like that could be a big spreader. Everyone after a few drinks is going to be talking real close, and
yeah.
I get it, but at the same time, it's like, well, then these venues got to get helped out. Like something.
There's a lot to close, but man, in Lexington, there's I think been 2 prominent venues that have closed because of all this, 2 or 3. And so, I mean, even though we don't really play Lexington, we play Louisville, but there's a lot of good places that are calling it good, man. And it's it's sad because these are places that have helped bands like yours and mine get our fucking shit out there. And this whole thing has really fucked up a lot of things.
And my irritation too with writing I've written Republican and Democratic Senate, both sides, and I just gotta, well, I've done this and this and this and this. Well, okay, there's more that needs to be done here in the middle of a pandemic. Like we're not.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
Like I just was like, wow, this was a really asinine, and I'm like, they're looking at it like, oh, it's a dirty old music venue. I don't care. Like, yeah. I know what's going through their head, and it's, not to get into the individual ones I wrote, but I did not really care for the responses I got back, and don't have a whole lot of faith of what will happen. I mean, obviously that whole, they couldn't agree on a stimulus package leading to the Trump executive orders. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Do whatever you can. Anyone out there, support your local music venue. We need them.
Go to every artist, man. If you're a fan of that artist, they're more than likely to have a band camp out there. And there's like a minimum purchase, but you can donate more. There's options like that. Yeah. And that's one of the things that makes, a site like Bandcamp really, really cool for, especially indie artists. It really gives them an opportunity to make a little bit of money too. Yeah. So I think we talked enough about some of this negative stuff, not the band, but just the time of the times. So, I guess before we get too far, I do want to say thanks to a good friend of the show, Raven J. We have a new logo out, Chuck. So here it is, guys.
Yes.
So, it's obviously this is the first show we really get to show it off on. So thank you, Raven J. We really appreciate the work that you did for us, man. It looks incredible. We fucking love it. That's for sure, man. I love that, man. So
no, I think it's badass. I'm excited about that. I like a lot of people that I've shown the logo to are like, whoa, that's awesome. The beard needs to be a little longer, but it gets the point, and it makes me skinnier, so that's okay.
Right. We both like looking skinnier.
Yeah.
So, Chuck, man, you actually you got to pick the movie that we're doing this week, man. So
Indeed.
let's go ahead, introduce it, and tell us why the fuck you made us watch this shit.
Okay, first off, man, when I was growing up,
Wait, hold on 1 second.
Wait.
So Chris actually went and checked out Cavalcade on Bandcamp already right now. He says, "Whoa, you guys are heavy. I got to listen to this while I script write." That is fucking
Hell
awesome.
yeah.
Thank you, Chris, for checking him out, dude. I'm sure he greatly appreciates it.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, brother.
Like I said, they're an amazing band. Anyway, so in 1990, there was a film called Sorority Girls and the Creature from Hell. And now, me being the young tyke that I was, just getting into horror films and boobs, and also staying up. Yeah, there it is, right there. Me and a good friend of mine, who's no longer with us, rest in peace, Andy Newton. We didn't have much to watch when I go to his house, and I used to record. Actually, I wish I still had all the VHSs of it, but I used to record USA Up All Night with Gilbert Godfrey and Rhonda Shear.
Oh,
and yeah, you remember that shit, don't you, Brett? And it was there was even an episode with Gilbert Godfrey and Ramones, but that's another show. But this movie itself, I remember, because I used to look at the TV Guide, and I was like, okay, what's coming on? What's horror? Because it would say it was horror, comedy. And I remember
wrong. That was before somebody really knew what they were talking about, said something.
Well, they would call it a comedy. It'd be a fucking drama. And you're like, why am I crying? I'm supposed to be laughing. But this movie came on, and I was like, okay, cool. So I recorded it. I think it was like on a Saturday night. I can't remember if Gilbert Godfrey or Rhonda Shear. I can't remember if they were. One of them was Friday, one of them was Saturday. And I set up my recorder because my dad showed me how to use the VHS recorder, and I recorded fucking everything, including Suburban Commando twice. We're not talking about that. And
we're going to have to one day.
Yeah.
It'd be like an intervention episode.
So I recorded that there was going to be I can't remember the second movie. There was Sorority Girls, and then there was another one. But Sorority Girls is the one. I ended up taping over the other one. But there was something about this movie, and I took it over to my buddy Andy's house. And he lived way out in the country. It was the perfect place to watch horror films. Took it out there, and I was like, I got this new movie for us to watch. He didn't have cable or anything like that. And he's like, all right, cool. But he was a fucking he was like me. He got into like gore, and he got into boobs. We loved girls. We were fucking 10, 11 years old. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I put this movie on, and we had some of his mother, Penny, her homemade banana pudding, and sat there and watched this fucking movie. And man, I was blown away by not the acting, not the story. No, yeah, we'll get there. Not by the story plot itself. But the fact of USA used to let things slip, including a few nips. And when you're a kid of my age at the time, you want to see some nips. So that was a thing. And also, I remember liking the way the monster looked, which we'll get into the story and everything. But I thought he was a very, I don't know, it was simple and it's straight to the point. And rewatching this movie for this episode the other night was amazing to me. It was a completely nostalgic as fuck. Made me really miss my friend, and it made me actually realize how much I watch really good movies these days.
Yeah, I can definitely understand that last one the most.
Yeah. So it's one of those that, like, I wish I had it on DVD or at least VHS, just because. Not that I'd watch all the time.
I don't even know if this has a VHS release. It probably only has VHS.
I'm gonna look into that shit. Now I gotta say though, when you were asking me, okay, what's the next film we're gonna do, and I mentioned this, and you found it like that. I don't know why, because I've looked this movie up 1,000 times and never found shit. You look it up one time, and it's something I could have fucking done, but it also been a minute since I looked it up.
I don't know. I'd like to just believe that I'm an amazing researcher, so maybe
You
you
are.
can just let's just leave it at that. Yeah.
Okay.
But no,
JB is an amazing man. We love him. Is that what you want? Wait. You're not Jack. You're not Jack. You don't want me to worship you. Anyway, love you, Jack. I'm going to give him shit all night long just because I love him. Because I love him.
Oh, God. Yeah, you give it long enough, he'll just pop up on the bottom and be like, hey, bring me up there.
I'm waiting for it, actually. And
I
told, well, yeah, actually I am. Maybe. Because he seems to pop up. He's kind of like Oscar the Grouch when he comes out of his thing, but he's like totally not Oscar the Grouch. He's like Jack the Unicorn. You know, he's just like, hey, guys. Love him, though. I love him. And like a brother, you give him shit. But anyway, you'd asked me if there was anybody I wanted to have on this show. And the first person I thought of was Brad, because I was like, I think Brad would appreciate what we do, as well as the fact of I think he would appreciate the movie, as well as be able to talk shit about it like we do, because that's what this show is. We talk shit about these movies. So, yeah. You want me to go into the story arc of it, or do you want to do that?
Well, I don't know. I feel if I do it, somebody might be really mad at me because I think, well, let's just talk just in general. You know what I mean? Like, because personally, the story arc of this movie is total fucking bullshit. It didn't make any fucking sense whatsoever. Like, you have like three kind of stories going on at the same time. You have this escaped convict story who picking up trash on a road that nobody goes on. Like that's just okay, whatever, I guess. But then you have this other story of like these sorority girls and these fraternity guys and like, you know, issues going on with them and, you know, people are sleeping with other people and you're
don't forget about the archaeologist where it all starts.
Oh, no. I know. I was going to get there too. No.
Okay. All right.
And then for some reason, there's an archaeological dig going on in a mine where they find obviously what looks to be like a South American style relic, which, okay. And,
right, yeah.
Like I don't understand how it got there, because like it's like clearly like a mine shaft. Like it's not like oh, this is an archaeological dig. It's like, no, this guy went down into a mine that somebody dug to go and probably get like quartz or granite or something or coal, and then found South American relics in it. And keep in mind, this doesn't take place in fucking South America. Like
no.
Like I'm like I told you, man, when I watched it, I was pretty upset. Like I was like, dude, what the fuck are you making me watch? Like you talk this up like, yes, this was like a childhood favorite. And I watched this and I was like, this fucking blows.
No wonder Chuck sucks.
Like I don't know. I talked long enough real quick though. Brad, man, why don't you go ahead and tell everybody what you might think?
There's a charm to it, but like a lot of what Chuck is talking about, it makes me miss the days where if it was a horror movie, you just watched it. It didn't matter the quality or whatever. You just want to expand and check it out. And being an adolescent male, you're like, oh, cool. There's girls. There's a demon thing. There's going to be death. Like you just watch it. I mean, this actually made me reminisce when you brought it up about this being a favorite. And it's interesting because you watch it. I thought there was a charm to it. I dug it. It makes me miss the days where I would just watch anything because it was horror. Because now it's like your time gets limited. And whenever I'm checking new stuff out, generally a lot of what I check out that's new is stuff that I missed that was old, like 30s, 40s, 50s stuff. But I still kind of read about it like, all right, is it going to be worth my time? Am I going to be into it? Or, it's stuff, I kind of invest a little bit of time to make sure it's going to be worth my hour and a half to 2 hours. Those times where you're like 10, 11, 12, up and even through high school where you're like, is it horror? Yeah, let's watch it. Like Zombie Lake. When I watched that, Zombie 4. It's just a lot of stuff. The other thing it reminded me of though is the weird, and kind of going on another tangent, is with all the story arcs going on, it reminded me of a far inferior version of Night of the Creeps, because Night of the Creeps had a lot of stuff going on that all fit very well. And you're like,
it blended in though. That's the difference.
Yeah. This was like, and this is after Night of the Creeps, and I almost wonder, I'm like, did you guys think you could pull like something like that off? It's like,
right. Like Night of the Creeps has like a weave to it, you know what I mean? While this right here is like a 3-way fucking collision.
Well, wait a second. Before we get too ahead of ourselves, the people at home probably have no idea like the story of it. Okay, just a quick little thing. Here we go. All right. Because we're talking about all the story arcs going on. Okay, you have the escaped convict, all that stuff. You have an archaeologist who finds this relic. He gets cut, and the relic starts talking to him. He talks to him like he's out of a Goosebumps book. And
with flashlight eyes.
Yeah, with flashlight eyes. And he becomes this like werewolf looking demon thing. Like he's dressed like if he was like Wolfman, but his face is all fucked, which I kind of liked,
Yeah,
but like fucking paper mache. You can see like a full inch and a half of his real face around every fucking piece of prosthetic that they had on him. Like I don't. Did you guys
hold on, real quick,
down to like a 240p and be like, okay, I can watch this now? Like it doesn't look nearly as bad. Like,
but we also got just to finish up the story arc. We also have, of course, all the kids that are going to stay at this fucking this cabin, and then of course one by one they're killed, and there's a whole lot of stuff that goes on in this movie. And then there you go. I just want to make sure that people understand the shit that we're talking about. And when I say shit, I mean big old turd.
Yeah. Not to mention like it does have a lot of tits and some kind of uncomfortable slow people references.
Yeah, there's a few things. Yeah,
like this is definitely something that I could see why they might not ever get it on a Blu-ray. Like it'll be really, really difficult for them to convince somebody. Like that's for sure. But like the plot alone fucked with me so bad because it doesn't make sense. Like like realistically, they could have not had the whole convict concept at all in there. Saved me
pointless.
25 minutes.
It was pointless.
It could have saved me so much time. I mean, at least 25 minutes, of nothing. Like it really adds nothing to the story other than it gives somebody like a gun at one point. And then even then it's not his. Like the other guy had the gun. They could have just had the other person with it.
Yeah.
Like it's just I don't know. And that fucking mine shaft. That drives me so fucking nuts, dude.
Yeah.
And then when they go back to it, it's not even the same fucking place. It's like a fucking humongous cavern when they go back. You notice that?
Yeah.
It's like what the hell happened? Like, I that guy really must dig like a motherfucking like animal when like nobody's watching. Turn it into that.
Actually, something that I never knew. Well, again, like the last time I watched this movie before I watched it the other night again was like when I was again like in first or second grade, and watching it the other night, I realized a couple of things. There's a guy that plays in Pulp Fiction in the movie. Apparently, he plays James Dean in the diner. And also,
what a huge role!
I know his life went amazing after this movie. But also Lynn Lesser, who was on Seinfeld and a bunch of other TV shows and movies.
Oh, yeah,
he plays the he in Seinfeld. He was always the hey Jerry, hey, like the lanky guy, the crooked nose, and like all that shit. And he plays with this main character in this film, where he's basically like. He's the guy that's warning you, but he's not really warning you. He's just kind of like, man, damn kids. You know, it's like he's not really like telling them, don't do this. I thought that was kind of interesting because I thought he was like, I mean, because it's kind of funny when you see that guy in much bigger roles, as small as they might have been. any role's bigger than this movie. Okay.
It really is, dude. And in fact, one of the things that I do want to say is, we started this small little segment where we would go through and pick some IMBD reviews and just read them live, just get an idea of what the audience thinks too. So I do.
Oh, these are good. These are good. Brad, you're going to like these.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Now, there was one, I don't really want it to be random because I just think this is fucking hilarious, first off. Now, I'm going to say that this guy also gave them a 10 out of 10. Okay. So, first off, he's full of shit going right into this. So, he says, I'm Richard Salazar. I'm in the credits, but never got paid. And he goes on for a whole paragraph talking about not getting paid for this movie. Like, I'm going to go ahead and read it. Like, this is a real review on IMDb. One of the actors responded talking about not getting paid. like this was his little spot to go and bitch about it. It's great though. All right. Says the movie was an experience. I was a bodybuilder working out daily. Then a man kept asking me to be in his movie. I had long hair and was not into being into a movie, but he kept asking. So I finally asked, what do I need to do? He said to cut your hair because you're going to be a cop. I think we got an idea who this guy is. So I thought, okay, I will try it. And then I asked about my pay. He said, when he sells the movie, I will get paid. So after the filming, I never saw him again and never knew it was a movie because like he said, when he sells the movie, he would let me know. As we see, it became a movie, and I'm an actor in the movie credits, Richard Salazar. Like,
oh my God, dude!
Wow. Like I never once in my life thought of like randomly picking out IMDb reviews that I would actually see somebody complaining about not getting paid for the movie that they were in their own review. Like, that's great. I love this. So now I'm going to do the other ones random. We'll only do 3. I don't want to wear everybody out on this. So, all right. this one says, gutter garbage for the B folks.
Gutter garbage for the B folks. I dig that.
It's fair.
Put that on a shirt.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Here's this review, guys. First off, he gives them 2 out of 10 stars. Says, stupid girls and a couple of their oh so annoying boyfriends head out to a cabin, which is pretty nice, for a weekend of whatever have you. Something in a cave is awakened. A mask on the wall growls, flares its glowing eyes, and soon the cast start dying. Very typical B-movie trash to come out in the early 90s. It found a home on the USA Network for a while on Up All Night and was good there, but it's painfully useless otherwise. Many stupid scenes with lame characters, but it does benefit a little from the Uncle Leo from Seinfeld.
There we go. Yeah, a little lesser. Yeah.
Lame horror movie with no budgets or fun. And this is good for a view. It's just nothing you should add to your top 10 list of bad movies to see. Unless, of course, you've seen them all. Hokey, campy, and cheesy with barely any talent on display from anybody involved. 2 out of 10 stars.
Read another one.
Okay. Hold on.
These are funny.
Some of these are pretty fucking bad, though. That's for sure. All right, here we go. This one is rated 10 out of 10 stars. And now you really know this person's full of shit because he starts it off with awesome film from the 80s. This movie didn't come out in the 80s.
No, yeah.
So he's right from the get-go wrong.
But I understand where he came from, though, because it's right there on the cusp.
Feel, but it only has the feel because the person probably had a camera from 1982. Like, and it
true.
All right. He says, okay, if you're into cheesy horror movies from the 80s and want a great laugh, then you must watch this film. I've seen most of them, and this is the bottom of the barrel for me so far. And I died laughing every time I watch this movie. It's like watching acting from a porno, but without the sex. There's so much into like this film. An escaped prisoner on the loose that looks like the singer from Journey. There's an eerie
Yeah,
old
he does. He does.
yeah. A talking cave that gives powers to whoever gives it blood, and a creature looking to kill because the cave wants more blood for some reason. It's never enough with him. That is one thing. We never figure out really shit about this other than this fucking rock that has flashlight eyes wants blood.
Yeah.
Another disciple.
Yeah.
A disciple of what?
But all right. It says, I love this film not because of quality, because it makes me laugh. So if you're into that, then you will love this movie. So nobody's really watching this movie because it's like, oh, this is great. They're only watching this because it's so bad that they're just laughing their asses off at this entire film, dude. And let me go ahead and bring this picture up again real quick because you can kind of get a little bit of an idea of what the creature looks like. And yeah, that right there is what I'm talking about. Yeah, and that's what I kind of mean with the flashlight eyes too. It's wow, is this bad? And there's really not even a lot of pictures or any kind of screen grabs that you can even find for this movie, really. Like, this is like one of the only real ones, and they cut most of it off because that was also a shower scene going on at the same time.
Yeah, it was.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that is Deborah Dutch that's in that one. And I did try to reach out to her, and I really honestly I haven't looked again because her life looks like it's got pretty rough after this movie. So yeah,
it was the curse of whatever.
I'm sure she's a really fun person and everything, but
yeah.
It seemed like there was a little too much going on, so I avoided and tried to dodge that bullet. But wow, man, I still can't believe you fucking. This is the movie that you pick. Of all the bad movies, you could be like, yeah, watch this one or watch this one. You're like, check this out. It's awesome.
Well, you gotta understand though. Okay, my thought process, because I mean, you know, I am fairly new here on Two Guys One Crypt, and I was trying to think because you know we did, you know, you and Jack had me as a guest on Munchturd, and I was like, what's a movie? And I was like, shit, Sorority Girls, A Creature from Hell. I would love nothing more than to do an episode about this because no one else will.
Yeah.
And
nobody else
man,
and nobody's gonna ever look this up. This is gonna be one of those episodes that has like a really, really low amount of views because nobody is trying to figure out what the hell happened with this movie.
Oh, that's bullshit. Everyone loves us. We're great.
The thing that gets me though is like it got to USA Network, like because there's a lot of really bad movies that went to VHS that actually made decent profits in that market at the time. And a lot of them never even made it to USA Network. Like that's where I'm kind of like, someone made a dime here somewhere. And
but I bet they made their dime because they purchased it for $20.
Yeah.
So yeah. I don't think that's like, oh yeah, that somebody made some good money. I think they realized that they can get this so cheap that it just like that's the only thing that really makes sense to me. Like I can't really imagine anything else. I really can't. Like, it could be completely wrong, though.
It can surprise you, like, with some of the rights, with some of the, like, I was watching some documentaries on people that made even way worse films than this in the 80s, and they were talking about what they made just on the rights to their films going straight into VHSs. And I was, like, sitting there blown away, like, you made this your job? And, like, it's, like, worse stuff than this, like, with, like, super... So you never know. There might be a guy that, like, hell, if he made a couple mortgage payments on it, that's go you, man. I don't know. It blows me away. It got because I remember USA Net like late at night being bad, but I don't remember them quite being this level. So it's kind of like because this is on the same grounds as like the Texas Nail Gun Massacre or which is really bad. I think that's actually better than that or Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2. which was really a shit show.
Yeah, that one was pretty fucking bad too. That's for sure.
Like I'm kind of blown away. Like it got that far. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe also somebody drunkenly could have gave away the rights to a USA Network exec on a Saturday night, and the guy's like, "Hey, I got this for free, guys. Like, let's throw it on."
Yeah.
Who knows?
After just doing a small search real quick, I'm pretty sure, and like, don't get me wrong, I could be wrong with this entirely, but I think USA Network bought the movie. I think they were the only ones with rights to it because there is no box office numbers. So I like that's because realistically, it's known for being on that station after it came out. Like that's, and it's like really the only place who aired it. So it would make sense, and I could really see why they don't want to bring it out again.
Well, I'm going to say this though. At that time period, cocaine was still a really big like resource, and I would say that had something to do. Like, hey man, titties and monsters, let's do it.
I would put money
I
on
guarantee it.
I would put money on it that they thought that they could make money off of this movie by throwing sorority girls in the front, and because it wasn't the slime bowl bolorama, nobody gave a fuck.
True.
That's simple.
True.
I think they tried to take from that name and use the whole sex sells thing. Like obviously, like these right here are all the like the movie cover arts. Like sex sells. Look at this one. Like that wasn't even in the movie. That wasn't it. Like that wasn't there. That didn't happen.
No.
But, you know, like that's like they clearly went for that whole style. Like
look, if I had a shirt, if I could find a shirt of this movie, I would wear it on like a regular.
There isn't one.
Somebody,
one of their accountants was like, "No, there's no money to be made. Fuck that."
So they
decided to print off blank Hanes shirts instead.
Well,
Redbubble.
Yeah, right. I think I'm gonna have to hit up. I think I'm gonna have to hit up our merch guy and see if he'll make me a one-off.
One-off.
I would totally sport that shit, dude. Because this movie is so bad. There's so many things that don't make sense. But I mean, you can understand how old I was and what I was going through as that age. This was perfect. It was cheesy, you know. There was titties.
Yeah, I 100% see what caught your attention as a young boy watching this. Like, you know, I'm a few years younger than you even, but I know what it's like being that age. I get all that. It's just this movie was still a piece of shit.
Oh, like, no, it could be shit. Yeah.
There's
no, I mean,
like even looking at that aspect today, I don't think there's enough boobies to make it okay.
No,
like maybe when I was like,
good.
Maybe the first few times you saw boobies, yeah, but after you've seen a bunch, it's like there's
roll them up.
We get to see Debbie Dutch, and then we have to go and look at her now and be like, no,
roll them up. No,
I do have a question for both of you.
Yeah.
You've both seen Troll 2, correct?
Seen what?
Troll 2.
Oh yeah.
Is this better or worse than Troll 2? I'm just kidding.
I was thinking that. Honestly, no, this isn't worse than Troll 2. Okay,
I didn't mind Troll 2. Fuck off.
Okay, look. Look.
I would watch Troll 2 any fucking day of the week over watching this again.
Really? See, man.
I do a double feature, Troll 1 and 2. Order a couple pizzas, sit my fucking fat ass down.
But Troll 2 has nothing to do. But Troll 2 has nothing to do with Troll 1.
I don't care.
And Troll 2, actually, okay, wait a second. Let me think about this for a second.
I'd also throw in the Garbage Pail movies and watch all three of them just because they have little people and it's funny. I love them.
How many Garbage Pail? Whoa. 3 Garbage Pail movies?
No, I said I would do 3 of them. Add the Garbage Pail.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Because I was like, where the fuck are those at?
You gotta make them.
You know, honestly, I'll have to say, even though there's nostalgia with this movie, the there's parts of it I like, whatever. I honestly, I thinking about it, I probably would have to go if someone was like, "Hey, Troll 2 or Creature." Yeah, I guess I'd go Troll 2.
Yeah, I 100% don't blame you. Actually,
if I got a
hold
friend
on,
that hasn't seen it, if I don't have it, sorry, Just I keep cutting you.
No, you go ahead, finish it.
I'm just excited. I'm excited. If somebody that I knew was like Sorority Girls and the Creature from Hell, what's that? I'd be like, wait a second.
I don't suggest doing that. I think you're going to lose friends. You're going to lose friends. It's not like when you're trying to get all your buddies to watch Monstered. It is not like that. And just so you know,
double feature.
Christoph Weddy, hopefully I'm saying that correctly, went ahead and threw another message out here. It says, do you guys have any idea how entertaining this is? I stumbled across the link on Jen's page while watching Joe Bob Briggs and ended up choosing to watch you guys over Darcy the Male.
Oh, I love Darcy. I love Darcy.
Your show has to be good. Haha. I feel like I'm just hanging out with a couple buddies, drinking and talking about horror. That's awesome, man. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you.
That's really nice of you, man. Hopefully,
man.
Hopefully everybody looks at it that way. You know, that's kind of like what we're going with.
Can we get Joe Bob on here? Or Darcy?
Do you have his number?
No.
I don't have his contact. I will see what I can do. I will see what I can do. Okay.
He was almost. I knew somebody working on him, trying to get him to just a private event in Detroit. Like, from what I understand, he's supposed to be super cool. Because this was going to be like a concert / he does a thing in there. And from what I understand, and it all got killed because of COVID. They were at the negotiation part, but everyone was, from what I understand, it was like not unrealistic. Like, I don't know numbers, but
right. Well, no, I'm all right. I guess I should probably explain a little bit more now. Before I do though, Christoph says, "Fuck yes, get Darcy." Haha. I
love Darcy, man. She's cool as fuck. I love her to death.
Now, going back to Joe Bob, though, I could be wrong, but I believe there was actually something going on with some of the production companies behind a lot of stuff going on there, and I think some stuff might have been canceled or moved, like some of the stuff that he was associated with. Like, I think there's actually like some kind of I'm not 100% sure of the situation, but I believe it is some kind of Me Too type thing that happened. And I don't think it involves him.
No.
I think he works for the production company that the person who runs it. It's something like that, isn't it?
There's something, but it's not as, because you're making it sound more extreme.
Well, I don't know the facts. You know what I mean? I heard there was some kind of sexual abuse.
No.
Right, that's from one of the publishing things that I read. So, like I said, I could be wrong. I don't know, but there is something going on there. I know they canceled some of the stuff.
Well, but Joe Bob's still on Shudder, and I will stand by Joe Bob.
No, it had nothing to do with Shudder. It was something else that he was part of.
Oh, okay. Because man, like Joe Bob, I've never met him. I want to. He's the reason why so many movies came into my spectrum when I was growing up. Monster Vision on TNT, and I'm so glad that he's back on Shudder. And Joe Bob's got his opinions. He's got his opinions about some things, and he's pissing people off. But Joe Bob means well with everything he does. I completely love Joe Bob.
Oh,
and Darcy,
I love him too. I just feel like there might have been some things that, you know, like he might have been a little bit preoccupied at the moment type thing.
Yeah, and when it comes to Darcy, I'd love to have her on too. That girl, she gets a lot of shit because of her past in adult film, whatever the fuck. But the girl knows her shit about horror movies, and she's cool as fuck, and she's cool in my book. If it wasn't for Joe Bob, there's a lot of movies I wouldn't have as my favorites right now. So I'm gonna leave it at that.
Well, you know, it kind of goes back to the beginning of the show with, you know, us being the kind of people who were in love with the whole horror host type shows and shit like that. Like, there's something about those kind of, you know, the people who are able to do that that's just so fucking entertaining and so much fun. And just so what it was just because I looked it up, Joe Bob quit Fangoria over Yeah, it was Fangoria that he quit, and I still believe there was something that happened.
Unfortunately, Fangoria, which is for me and probably you all as well. I know Whitman as well. A big influence on horror for all of us. There has been some, like you said, Me Too shit that has gone on Fort Fangoria.
All right, so yeah, that's what I thought it was.
So
yeah,
and it's bullshit and it sucks because they just came back out a couple of years ago. So
yeah, wasn't it?
It sucks.
Who was it that bought it? Was it Cinestate? Yeah, Cinestate. Cinestate bought it. But yeah. That's I don't know. Hopefully, we don't have another. Who knows what's going to happen? It's hard to tell. Luckily for all of us horror fans out there, there's still other stuff like Rue Morgue and stuff available. So it's
love Rue Morgue.
Down to one thing anymore. We have multiple things to actually go and entertain ourselves.
Yeah.
But anyways, I want to tell you, Chuck, that you're a fucking dick for making me watch this movie. I'm like, that's still total fucking bullshit. Like, I really like. I understand that you guys you have that nostalgia for it and everything, but like that mask looked horrible. The makeup was so bad.
Oh, it was so bad,
the music was so bad. Like I can't really think of one thing as somebody who watches a bunch of movies. Like I'm really nobody, but like there's really nothing to this movie that's like, okay, I'm gonna watch this again. Like nothing at all. Like I'm surprised that you picked it. I really am.
I love that I picked it, and I loved watching it the other day. I loved it. I did. As weird as it sounds, I did have a good time. And actually, talking to Brad, I asked him what he thought about the movie because he watched it and stuff, and he was like, "There's a charm to it," and I was like,
"I'd watch it again."
A charm.
I'd watch it again. I would love.
You're wrong, though.
Wish I would have known about this about like 10, 15 years earlier when I was living with. Actually, I just probably in the last few years got out of living with a bunch of people at once. This would be awesome at a Saturday night after party after doing a local show. Throw this in with drinks.
Yeah.
And all of us laughing and going and just introducing it to people because I would have put this on every Saturday night after one of my shows or coming back from Max or seeing somebody else and having a party to it and I would have shoved it down everyone's throat. I'm actually upset I didn't have this in my life 10, 15 years ago because I would have shoved it down everyone's throats.
Hey, Brad, here's an idea. We plan a tour next month or next year with Mamma Lord. All right. And then we have a fucking projector.
And we
play this motherfucker while we're fucking playing. Like whoever's opening plays the first half, second half is the second bed. Dude, it'd be great. It'd be fucking awesome.
Oh yeah,
let's do it.
I'm down.
People fucking just walking out like, what the fuck is this guy doing?
Oh no, the music will keep them there regardless. But also the thing is, I can't completely hate this film. I can't.
I can't.
It's so bad and there's so many unanswered questions and all that shit, but it's so much fun. I mean, because that was what I watched. I watched it and I was like, man, this movie is shit. But there's a lot of goofiness. And like Brad was talking about earlier about how at a certain point in time you just watched whatever movie was horror. You didn't have YouTube to watch trailers and all that shit. You just took the fucking advice of the fucking TV god. And this one,
I'm lucky I didn't have to deal with that.
Yeah, whatever.
Well, no, I grew up with a dad who was pretty into horror, so I was growing up watching stuff like Child's Play and Phantasm and all these fucking classics, and I grew up on it. But luckily, he avoided. I love it. He avoided some of the bullshit. He liked the sleaze. He liked the boobs and everything. So I got to watch some of, my all-time favorite cheesy ones like Blood Diner, Motel Hell. But But this one, I think, was just like a little bit below. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like we watched Jack Frost like 7 times, but still decided not to watch this one. You know what I mean?
Really?
Like, I'm one of the very few people in the world that still owns and watched Pinocchio's Revenge when it came out over this one.
Man,
You know
that
what I
movie.
mean?
Jesus Christ, that movie.
But I'm just saying, I picked these
Lord.
movies and still it was like, yeah, I don't really need to watch this one. You know, like, and I still think I feel the same way. I'm not even gonna lie to you, man.
You know what though, Justin, JB, I appreciate the fact that this guy over here, he found a charm in that movie. He found a charm in Sorority Girls and the Creature from Hell, and that makes me happy as shit. I'm just gonna throw it out there.
Yeah, keep in mind though that earlier when you had to walk away, he was also talking about how charming he thought Jack was.
What?
Have to go and bring him in as more butt of a joke. So for those who don't know, Jack's also one of the co-hosts on Tales from the Podcast with me, and he hosts his own show, Late Night Chat with Jack, on Tuesday nights.
Late night chat with Jack.
I really, really hope that he doesn't start jacking off on the show.
He's like, hey, how's it going? Next question.
Right. He's going to forget about the 3 camera angles. It's gonna catch him on one of the back
That's
ones.
why he does it. I'm telling you. I gotta say though, man, like I there's so many, like, when it comes down to like really stupid shit in this movie. Like, okay, you have the stripper scene when they're at the they're at the strip club or whatever, which it looks like just a regular bar. And there's a girl on stage, which the version that I watched recently, it was so red you couldn't see her big old titties. Dude,
it's like,
but
they did a good job
scene,
casting like 1 or 2 girls that look decent, but like that scene that you're talking about, it's like you could have left her shirt on and it would have been better for everybody.
No,
Like,
I was good with it.
No, yeah.
But like, my favorite scene in this fucking movie, and I have to say it before the end of this episode, was the fact that, okay, you had the girl and the guy making out on the roof. Why would you make out on the roof? I don't know. Because there wasn't like
stars.
Yeah. They were, oh, look at the stars. Yeah, okay, whatever. And then the guy's drunk as fuck down below. And he watches as like the creature throws the body of the girl over, and like he kicks the head over and all that shit. And the guy's like, I don't know what happened, man. Like, I don't know what's going on. And there's that big hugging scene, like at the end when the other people come in and all that stuff. Like that it just, I was watching that. I couldn't stop fucking laughing. Like, it was just ridiculous.
Right. You know, the scene that really got me was when I think he's up in a tree, but we see the creature from hell jump down.
Yeah.
Now, instead of just watching this creature jump down, you have like all these cutscenes of different like angles of him jumping down, where completely they're all like way different than the first one. Like they don't really even match up right, and it makes it seem like he had like these super jumping powers, but it was just the way it was done. Just it looked like they used like 2 clip scenes of him falling and just edited them all together. Like, it looked so fucking bad, dude.
And the end of the movie was pretty. When you watched it, did you not already know the ending was going to happen? The cop walks in there and he's like, "Oh," and he cuts his hand on the fucking eye hole of the whole South African idol thing, and he's like, "Oh, a new disciple," and you're like, it was this Goosebumps? What is this? Are You Afraid of the Dark? What the fuck is this shit? Like, I mean, I like all that shit, but like, what the fuck was that?
I think they had the same budget. I'm pretty
well, and then
sure.
you also had the escaped convict bumming a ride, wearing his jumpsuit, in a van and leaving.
Oh
And
yeah.
it was like, and then, like you said, there was no fucking point in having that in that fucking movie. That whole fucking thing was just
It
so
could have
they could
saved
have a
us like
gun.
a half hour almost. Like we could have. It might have been. I think it might have been a much more watchable film if that was out. And
Yeah.
also take away the scene where the girl's car breaks down because man, do they make those girls look stupid. Like
No, it's really bad, and it's actually a very typical, like, kind of like horror film. But it comes
yeah,
down
but
to it,
to that extent is pretty bad. Like
no, it's horrible.
it really is. Hey, Brad, man, was there anything that you really liked about this one?
Is it just went on like because you're like you say it just starts off with the escaped convict and then goes into the whole love affairs of the sorority and their boyfriends, and at one point I'm like, who the fuck is sleeping with who? A couple of the girls look fairly similar, and I'm just like, whoa, that one's with this one, and you're trying to keep up with the names, and you're like, and then they just start getting killed off, and you're just like, I gotta go into 80s slasher mode and just like not care. Like, who the fuck is
Right? Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. And you just go into it, and just like every time it shows like like it reminded very much like we said, like I think Maya or Aztec, and I feel awful like not exactly nailing something down, but I don't know enough to. It reminds me of that kind of.
Me too.
Or yeah, exactly. And you're just like, what the fuck is this doing there? And you're just. But the one thing that kept hitting me is like every time he's like a disciple and everything.
You just cut out big time, buddy.
Oh shit! What the hell happened? I'm frozen too. Everybody's frozen on my end.
No, I'm just not talking. No, it sounds like Brad went ahead and got himself a little frozen there. Let's go ahead and give him a second there to go ahead and refresh.
Hello?
But no, yeah, all right, there you go. That's a little bit better. Now, what were you saying about the disciple thing? Yeah, you cut out there.
There's got to be a death metal band out there that has used that as a sample. There has to be. Like,
oh yeah, yeah.
There's got to be.
I don't think so. I don't think anybody's watched that movie and been like, you know what? I got to take some sound bites.
Well, my question is though, Brad, is it your band or my band that does it?
Oh, dude, we could.
I bet you can get the licensing rights really, really cheap.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, definitely.
I don't think they're going to really charge you very much to use it. That's for sure. One of the weird things I noticed is I believe the writer and director, like, this is like the only thing they really did. Like, these people didn't really do shit after making this movie.
Yeah.
That's it?
Pretty sure that, yeah, like, there's like nothing really about these people at all. It's like it must have been somebody's dream project, one of the two of them, because they both worked on it. And then they made it, and maybe then they were just like, you know what? Making movies sucks. You know, we ripped off all the actors and didn't pay nobody. You know, like,
hey, JB.
Yeah.
Am I frozen to you right now?
No, you're fine.
I am. I'm totally. I have to go take care of something. Just 2 seconds, okay?
You're good, buddy.
All right, man. I'll be right back. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Oh man. So it looks like everybody is having some technical difficulties, but me right now. I think Brad's back on screen now. His thing just refreshed too. But yeah, dude, that was it. I don't know if anybody should ever use that in the band, but like I can see how it could be cool to like use it as a soundbite. You know what I mean? Just, you know, I've seen some bands that do that kind of stuff. You know, who was it? I think it was Chiodos. Like way back when, was using a lot of sound clips and stuff from Requiem from a Dream and shit like that, and it was interesting. Yeah. But yeah, dude,
especially in death metal, they'll like find that it's almost more about how obscure the quote is and put it in there. And that's more like what I'm thinking is like somebody just like, oh man, we're going to put that in there. So, and just playing with a ton of death metal bands, like I could see it. I like death metal, but there's a lot of them that will just not really think through what they're putting, like, and use the quote, which is fine.
Right.
It could be an awesome band that finds a cool way to do it. So whichever way, but it's, yeah, it's, I don't know. I had fun with it. At the end of the day, it entertained me. A long time ago, a good friend of mine always, like, when we talk about films in high school, he was just basically like, did it entertain me? And that gave him a, like what he thought of the film. And over the years, I've kind of adopted that. Like, I was entertained. I had a good time watching it. It made I think I watched it on a Tuesday night. It made my Tuesday night better. So, yeah,
Fair.
So,
Me personally, I fell asleep watching this the first time.
oh,
And
really?
Yeah. That's it's not exactly like this most action-packed type film. Like, even for like, even if you're looking like straight horror, like the kills aren't really the greatest or anything like that. So it doesn't have enough there, at least in my opinion, to like keep full concentration on the screen. And yeah, I fell asleep the first time I watched this. I missed probably like maybe the last like 25 minutes of it and had to come back and rewatch. And I rewatched the whole thing. I didn't just come back to where I left off, but I went back. I watched the whole thing again.
Hey,
And
Justin.
Yes.
Justin. I'm going to leave and come back because everything's still frozen to me.
Oh, no, you're good, buddy. Take care of what you need to do, okay?
Yeah.
But like, yeah, man, dude, it was just it was just hard to watch for me for some reason. Like, it couldn't keep my attention, like I said. And then like the plot and the way it was just all over the fucking place and made no sense whatsoever.
No, it didn't.
Like, it's so hard for me to get past that spot. You're looking good there, Chuck.
I do what I can.
I could tell that you
Yeah.
you brushed the beard a little bit while you were off the screen for a moment. Looks good.
That's what I was doing. I was like, man, I don't look good. I gotta go brush it.
All right.
Yeah, sorry about that, man. I wasn't supposed to have my kids tonight.
Don't worry about it, man. We just move on and keep it going. You know how it is.
Oh yeah.
But I would say overall, looking back at this movie, watching it, I would probably rate it a half out of a 10.
Oh, wow.
Like, I thought Troll 2 was a better movie. I think Sharknado is a better movie.
Oh, fuck that, dude.
I could go down the list of movies that I think are better than this one, knowing how shitty those movies are.
No. Sharknado sucks. I hate that movie.
I have a weird thing with Troll 2. So it's like, because I loved Troll as a kid, in terms of it creeped me out. Like, I legitimately think John Bucco did an awesome job with Troll 1. It legitimately was creepy. Like, you'd watch this in very realistic, like, troll going after a kid. It was creepy. And so when I finally saw Troll 2, and I didn't see Troll 2 until I was an adult, and it was terrible. And then I find out there's conventions for it. And I'm like, this fucking movie does not deserve fucking conventions for it. Like, I'm like, and there's this big, like, cult audience for it, for how bad it is. And I'm like, the first Troll deserves more of an audience than this, and it doesn't get the attention. And so I've got a weird thing, and maybe it's not fair to either film, but I will put this above Troll 2 because I've gone on drunken rants of like, fuck Troll 2, they don't deserve all this shit. It really doesn't.
So you're only putting it above the other one because you don't want to contradict what you've said in the past.
Yeah, you got me.
Right. So you might feel like Troll 2 might be better, but you just can't actually come to terms with saying it publicly.
You got it. Yeah.
Have you watched? There's a documentary about it.
About
I did.
this?
I did. The
About
documentary
Troll 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 I wish it was called It was called the worst movie ever made. The worst film ever
Called
made.
the best worst movie. Yes.
Yeah, there you go. Best worst movie. Yeah. Hey, Christoph.
The crazy thing about that documentary was like going in and like I forget the main male lead actor was thinking he might have a second chance at Hollywood. He was a dentist and he's like getting all inspired and he like was talking about the Troll 2 conventions and then went to a regular horror convention. He's like, no one's talking to me. And I'm like, in a normal horror convention, no one really is going to talk to you besides at the bar. Like no one.
Yeah.
Like you'll have a few people maybe come up, but it's not going to be the main thing. And I was still blown away that there was a Troll 2 convention, but that is modern nerdom, which is awesome, and I love it. So everyone's whatever you're into, you know.
Actually,
awesome.
After the show, Chuck, I got to tell you something about that because
Troll 2. Sorry. Go on.
Oh no, I said after we get off here, I actually do need to tell you a little bit about that because not to get too I guess personal or anything, but you know what my wife does for a living. And I will say that there is a very direct relationship.
Okay.
So just keep in mind that. Just keep in mind that. So I'll talk to you about that afterwards though, but yeah, definitely interesting, but
I sorry, God, I keep cutting you off. God damn, I think you're done. Go on, talk. Just go on, talk.
I was gonna ask you, what would you rate this movie?
Are we doing turds?
We could do turds. I'm giving it half a turd, half of a dried up white dog turd. Not even a fucking regular one. It's a half of a fucking white dried up one.
I'm gonna give it 3 turds, and the only reason why I give it 3 turds. Is for the nostalgic aspect for myself. It's personal, and the fact that the head rolling off of the roof, it did it for me, and also the fact that the relic in the mine or the cave or whatever talks like he belongs on an Are You Afraid of the Dark episode. But I will say this real quick.
Legends of the Hidden Temple.
There you go. See, hey, yeah, man, I forgot about that fucking show.
It's like they stole the prop from it and put it in a fucking random mine in Kentucky, and they're like, "Hey, let's film this shit."
Hey, I got the perfect fucking mine. I wish they'd remake this motherfucker because I'd be down for it. But I also gotta say though, with the Troll 2 conventions and shit, man, if there was a fucking sorority girls and creatures from hell, fucking like. Man, let's do it. Let's talk this movie up. Let's make it a thing.
It's gonna be us 3 hanging out in a room, and everybody avoiding us.
I would do us doing shots in a room, fucking like hanging out watching that movie. I would take it fucking right now.
I'm fair. I'm game. I'm game. 100%.
I would do it a million years, man.
Right. So we've been going for quite a while, man. So we should probably go ahead and wrap this up.
Yeah,
Brad, you need to tell us how many turds you're going to give this movie.
I would agree with 3, but they're going to be green ones. I don't know why the fuck I keep going like that with the. So 3, but green ones where you're like, oh, that was pretty unique. Like,
yeah, they stand out.
Yeah, stand out. So yeah, I'm gonna go with that. So
fair enough. I like that, man. So I guess before we go ahead and wrap up, dude, Brad, thank you again so much for coming on here and everything with us, dude. And you know, like I've already said before, go ahead, check him out over at facebook.com/Cavalcade Michigan, or my bad. I keep doing that. I live really close to Michigan, spend a lot of time there, so I just instantly do it. You know how it is. And then check out their Bandcamp over at cavalcade.bandcamp.com. Go purchase a couple of things. It's only going to cost you a few bucks, and it's going to be a hell of a fucking listen, man. Definitely check them out, dude. And thank you once again for being on here, man. Do you have anything you want to say before I go ahead and drop you down before we end this?
Thank you guys very much. Hopefully that covers album is out. And the other thing I totally blanked on saying, we're actually being total dumbasses and doing a double album. Like, we're going to do double vinyl.
Yes.
Dude, ambitious as shit. Just because what the fuck else you're going to do right now up here. So double album recording already started, finishing writing, hopefully 2021. So
Awesome.
thank you
Yeah,
guys.
man.
Can't
You
wait
guys
to
rock.
hear it, man.
Fuck
Definitely.
yeah, brother.
Thank you. And Christoph, thank you again. He says, great job, guys. Your podcast solidifies what I love about the horror community. I look forward to the next episode. Awesome, man. Thank you for tuning in. And man, hopefully our next one is going to be pretty fun. Not 100% sure what movie we're going to do yet. We will be figuring that out soon.
Got some
And
good ideas, though.
yeah, there's some ideas out there that are just going to be like, what the fuck are these guys doing? But
Hey, real quick, before we cut off, today is a special day. All right, today is a very special day. As a metalhead and a musician, and I know that Brad's gonna understand this. Today's the birthday of two people that are very influential in heavy metal and rock and roll. Dimebag Daryl
Yeah.
and Philip Lynott, however you want to say it, up Thin Lizzy. And for that, I say, happy birthday, guys. We miss you. Y'all gave the one hell of it. There we go. Get your fucking brew up. Dimebag, Phil, happy birthday. And I got to say it.
fair. So
Cool.
I'll drop you down, Brad. So Chuck, dude, it's been a good one, dude, for sure. It's been a lot of fun. I love this.
This is
dude.
great. Yeah.
I truly do. So you have anything you want to say before I go ahead and play this outro?
Yeah, I do, actually. Sorority Girls and the Creatures from Hell. If you haven't watched it, look it up. Give it a watch. It may not be your favorite film.
Pretend you watched it.
Whatever. Don't fuck off, JB. Well, yeah, fuck that guy. That guy. Okay? No. All right. Check it out. Make an opinion for yourself. Come back, comment, message us, whatever, and tell what you think about that movie because I'm really curious.
Right. And of course, guys,
this has been a great
scrolling at
episode.
the bottom, man, you got to go ahead and go to our website over at talesfromthepodcast.com, which is the other show that kind of started this whole spinoff to begin with. But the links for everything is in there, our merch store, like pretty much anything and everything us you will find on this page. So check it out for sure. And
Hey, do you want a Justin shirt or a Chuck shirt or both of us shirt? Go on there. You can fucking find us. Wear us.
yeah, it's pretty scary shit. So, so with that being said, man, this crypt is closed.
Whoa.